You know, as you know, we got going to be a great challenge this week, playing for the Eastern Division Championship against a great, Western Kentucky team. I think when we take a look at that team, Jeff's done a tremendous job with them on all three phases: offense, defense, and special teams. And it's going to be a great challenge for us to go on the road. We're going to have to play extremely well. We've got a great week of preparation, but we're where we want to be. I mean, at the end of the day, you're trying to go line up and go play a game against an excellent football team for a division championship, and we understand the importance of it. We understand the importance of our fan base getting tickets and showing up over there and going. I'm sure they will, and our kids are excited about playing. So let's go play and see what happens.
Yeah, captains for this week.
We got multiple captains this week, and I'll get Jason to get those out for you. We got Yurachek, got McKelvey, got Yurachek, McKelvey, and DJ Hunter, Taj Letman. We got a whole series of them, but Jason, remind me to get that to you. And we got about 8 or 9 guys that we're going to name captains for them. We'll walk out there, but same deal. When you go on the road, it's important to take your leadership with you. So we got more captains here than we would normally have. So I'll get Jason to get that to you as soon as.
How beneficial has it been this week and the week prior to get players physically and mentally prepared for this matchup this week?
Well, I think this week has been it's been great to get a couple guys back, which it's not only whenever you go 11 straight weeks, regardless of whether you're playing or not, you're banged up, and so we've had the opportunity to get ourselves regrouped a little bit, refreshed, and get ready for this great challenge. So it's helped. It's really helped.
Where have you seen Brandon Dowdy grow the most in the last year?
Seen too much of him. I know that he's a tremendous player. Jeff's done a great job of coaching him. A lot of the NFL scouts that come in here tell us he's going to be one of the top, maybe the top quarterback taken in the draft, and he's just got a great future, and he's just a tremendous quarterback that makes all the throws. He's tough. He gets himself out of trouble, and he's surrounded by really good players. That offensive line's tremendous. They're all back, and they lost it like we did. They lost that big time running back, unfortunately, and but they replaced him with really good players, and they got as good a wideouts as we've seen all year. So they're tremendous offensively. That defense is led by the defensive coordinator Son Holt, is a tremendous player, and you look at them, they're a lot better defensively than what they were a year ago. And they tell you where they've made the most improvements are their turnover margin. Look at what they've done. They've taken the ball away and they're taking care of the ball offensively. So I think they're 1 in the league, and turnover margin, I think we're 2. So you got 2 teams that I think have improved in that area.
The ability of the offensive line to keep Dowdy clean and allow him to get into a rhythm early. I think going into last week they had only given up 10 sacks on the year. How important is that for you all to sort of disrupt him and not let him get in the rhythm?
Well, it's hard to get him and disrupt him because he gets the ball out of his hands so quick, and he does a great job and they do a great job protecting him. They do a great job with that offensive line of protecting him, but scheme-wise, what they do offensively, he doesn't hold the ball back there a whole lot. But I tell you what he does, he creates a lot of problems for you. He did against us a year ago, and you look at him against the game last week and all his games, is he's got enough escapability that he'll get out of pressure and make a lot of throws down the field, and which is what good quarterbacks do. So he's a problem for you in all areas, and we're going to do a great job of trying to contain him, and you don't stop him. He's just too good, and they're too good. You got to get them on the ground when they make plays, and hopefully play great red zone defense. So it'll be a challenge for us.
You mentioned that red zone defense, and that's been a staple of you all year, forcing teams into 3 instead of 7. But red zone offense has also been their strength. So how do you sort of try and combat some of the things they do down in the red zone?
Well, he's got to make plays. I mean, you got to make plays, and your players have to make plays, when they're called upon. And this is a game when when your guys have the opportunity to make a play, you better make it. You got to get them on the ground. You better get them on the ground. You got an opportunity to make a play on the ball, you better do it. And if you can get pressure, you better get pressure. So, it's all the above. I mean, we're going to have to play defensively as well as we've played all year, and we know it's a great challenge, and we'll see what happens.
One of their players just a few minutes ago said they felt they snuck up on you last year. True or false?
Well, I don't know that. I mean, I know they played extremely well, and you got to give them all the credit in the world. I mean, they played extremely well offensively and played well enough on defense to beat us, and there's no doubt they came in here and beat us, which is what they did, and they deserve all the credit. So I don't know if they snuck up on us or not, but they beat us.
The move you made last game where you brought Allen in what were you looking for there, and did you get the desired result?
I think so. I mean, we wanted to get their best player was the slot kid last week, or 2 weeks ago now, Jack, and he had made most plays for him. We wanted to get Corey Tyndall on their best player, and that's the reason we made the move that we did. So a lot of that has to do with personnel matchups, and I know Chuck has some things he'll do a little different this week too, I'm sure, to try to get our good players on there. The trouble is they got too many. They don't have just one player you're trying to take away. They've got 3 tremendous receivers and a big-time tight end. I'm sure their starting tight end will probably be back against us this week. I don't know if y'all have heard anything about that yet, but he didn't play last week. I'm sure he's back this week. And so they don't have just one guy. They got a combination of players all over the field that we got to be able to match up and try to get stopped.
It wasn't much of an adjustment for him to play without Higbee, was it? I mean, they just found another target. Is that pretty much the case?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. I mean, they got their backup guys went in there and played well. I mean, they've got, they got some good depth, and they've done a good job recruiting, and they're a good football team.
You sense that you guys are ultra focused this week with all that's on the line?
I would hope so. I mean, you work 365 days a year to try to win a championship. I mean, that's where it is, and at the end of the day, we're right where we need to be, and I would think the leadership on this football team will make sure, along with the coaches, that this team's prepared to go play. And we've had a great week. I mean, we've had a great week last week, what little practice we did, and had a great practice yesterday, and so that's got to carry over today, because preparation is the key. That game, and I'm sure Jeff's telling his guys the same thing, it's not going to be won Friday night or Friday at noon. It's going to be won by what happens between now and then. So we've got to do a great job of preparation.
You all were able to get the rushing attack going against FIU, and even with the offensive line, injuries that you've had, to see the rushing attack come into the bye week with a lot of confidence, how important is that this week to turn out those 4 to 5 minute drives?
Well, I think it's important to be able to run the football. I think we're second in the league in running the football and rushing the football, so we've been able to run it pretty well all year. And with Devin being gone and the offensive line being put in a situation, I think we've ran the ball pretty well, overall. So. Anytime you go into a game, whether it's this one or whichever one, you can't be one-dimensional, and we got to try to be able to do both and take what that defense gives us, and that's this game's not going to be different than any of the rest of them. We've got to be able to execute our offense based on what the defense gives us, and got to try to make sure that happens.
You try and sort of beat that in the guys' heads this week. Hey, this game isn't like any other, or this game is the same as. Any other game, you got to prepare the same, you got to go at it the same.
Well, I mean, the kids are smart. I mean, they're smart kids, and they understand ultimately what the goal is, and so but and I'm sure Western's kids feel the same way. I mean, they're in a situation they want to be in, so are we, and that's why the conference has done a tremendous job this year of getting the top 4 teams matched up, and not only on the East but also on the West. You got Southern Miss, who I think's the most improved football team in our league, and. Playing La Tech for the championship on that side, and we're playing Western, so it didn't get a whole lot better than that. So we'll go play. It's like the semifinals for the championship this week, so we'll go play Western, and Southern Miss will go play La Tech, and then the winners will play the following week. So I think it's great for the conference. They got it right, and we'll see what happens.
I feel like it's a little bit of role reversal from last year. Last year, you all were talked about all year coming into that final game against Western. They were able to trip you up. This year, it's been most of the talk's been about Dowdy and Western Kentucky.
And should be. I mean, you look what they got coming back, and where they're ranked, and they got their entire offense is back, and the majority of their team's back, and they're a tremendous team, and they've handled it extremely well. I mean, when you get expectations put on you like that, some teams can handle it, some can't. A year ago, ours did, and ended up winning the championship, and this year theirs has. I mean, they've taken care of their business, and they're undefeated in the league, and that's what good teams do. When you got expectations are extremely high, their players embrace them, and they've done a great job. Their coach has done a great job of keeping them focused, and that's why they are where they are, and that's why we're where we are. So, it's going to be fun.
They scored 49 points last year in the first half. What were the things that they were doing that particularly gave you all trouble, and what do you need to prevent in that regard in this game?
Well, they just made plays. I mean, they just made play after play, and we didn't. We made 0 plays on defense in that first half, and to their credit, they made all the plays. And, you can't let that happen. I mean, if you're going to play a great team like they are and a quarterback like they've got and the skill kids that they have, then you better have some good players on your defense that can make plays at some point, and they didn't a year ago. in the first half. Second half made a few more plays, but they just made more plays than we did in the first half, and we didn't get them stopped when we had to. So it comes down, at the end of the day, it comes down to players making plays on both sides of the ball. And if defensively we can't make any plays, then that's a problem for us. So we got to hopefully be able to go out there and make some plays this year that we weren't able to make in the first half a year ago.
On the flip side of Jack's question, you give up 49 in the first half. You only give up 10 in the final 2 quarters of regulation. What did you all do right in the second half?
Just made just exactly what I talked about. He settled in there and started making some plays and started playing kind of the defense that we thought we were. And but we sure as hell can't wait till the second half to make that happen this year. We got to try to make those plays in the first half this year that we made in the second half last year, and it's going to be hard. I mean, like I say, there's a reason that they're scoring the number of points they are and beating people like they're beating them, because they're really good on offense. They got a quarterback that's as good as anybody in the country. So, again, it's going to be a great challenge for our defense, but, I know Chuck and our defense likes challenges, so we'll see what happens.
Any extra pressure, Doc, on the offense, knowing that you got to score some points, obviously, against
Nah, I don't know. We just got to go play. And, it's not an offense, and, we got to be the best team. For us to have a chance to win this game, it's got to come down to who's the best team on that particular day. And for us to have a chance to win, we've got to be the best team on the field at noon on Friday on offense, defense, and special teams. There's 3 phases that we got to find a way to win the game. And so, the defense has a great challenge. Offense is going to have a great challenge, and we've got to play great special teams. We've got to take care of the ball. At the end of the day, we turned it over 4 times last year, and it's hard to win when you turn it over 4 times. So you got to play great defense is where it starts. You got to take care of the football, get in the red zone. We got to score. We got to try to keep them out of the red zone. We got to play great special teams, and that's the plan to win. If you can do those things, you got a shot. If you don't, then there's not going to be a very happy bus on the way home.
Back to Rodney Allen, comment on his development this year to this point.
I think he's coming along, Doug. I think he's gotten a lot better and playing with a lot more confidence, and he's going to have to play tremendous, on Friday, because you don't get the one thing that impresses me about Western and what they do is they got multiple guys that can make plays. They got 3 or 4 wideouts, they got a couple tight ends, they got running backs, that quarterback can throw it all over the place. So it's not like you go into a game and you got one guy you got to try to get shut down. You got to shut down multiple players. So we have to have multiple players make plays for us on defensively and, of course, offensively and on special teams.
Coach, how much of an advantage is it having the extra rest coming into the game like this?
Well, I think, I'm not going to feel sorry for anybody. We went 11 straight weeks. We had 11 straight weeks without one. So thank goodness it's happened. I think it's an advantage, but Western had one a week ago. So I mean they've had one the last couple of weeks too. So I don't know if it's an advantage for either one of us, but at least we got some guys now that we're having a hard time walking can at least run a little bit now, and go play. So we'll see what happens.
So much talk out of the offense. What do you see that defense does that's so prolific that they can go out and really stop teams and get that offense back on the field?
I think the takeaways. I mean, look at their turnover margin, and like I say, they're number 1 in our league right now, and taking the ball away and taking care of it offensively. And they've improved. They got 2 or 3 kids from UAB that are playing for them now that were transfers, so they got some different personnel in there. But and look at their stats from this time last year until this time this year. They've improved tremendously on the defensive side of the ball. So they've improved in all areas, and they got good players.
What would Chase have to do to get himself going?
Just do what he does. Take care of the ball, and just go play. Go play. Chase is a guy that for a young freshman has probably done as well as anybody ever been. I hadn't been around very many of them, thank goodness. I don't like playing freshmen, but that being said, the ones I've been around, I mean, he's handled himself well. I think he's won 8 games. He's for the most part taking care of the football. He's continued to grow every week as a player, and he's got a better grasp of the offense right now than what he's had all year. So he just has to keep doing what he's doing. Take care of the ball and go make plays and get the ball in the right people's hands and take what the defense gives him. And he's done a good job of that so far. And knowing him, I think he'll do that again on Friday.
How good has it been for him to have a big yardage passing game and follow that up by leading a 52-point effort? Big Marshall type numbers. How good is it?
Well, I think confidence-wise, and and you all know him, he doesn't lack for confidence now. But I think he feels pretty good about himself, and I think he just he's what you want at that from personality standpoint and from a intangible standpoint, you know, I like guys that feel really good about themselves at that position. And I like guys that are very confident guys that think they can conquer the world. That's what you want there. And he's the kind of guy you want there.
Have you had to calm the guys down coming into this game at all?
No, I mean, hell, it's Monday, right? What is it? No, it's a Wednesday practice, but it's still Monday, so we got a long way to go between now and the time we get on our bus, whatever. I lose track of days. I know yesterday was Tuesday, so today is Wednesday, and we got 2 Thursdays, Smock. You got it? 2 Thursdays, so we get 2 Thursdays, and then we got a Friday. Go play.
You're hoping you don't have to break up anything before the game.
I'm just glad we don't have 2 Tuesdays where I got to come to this thing twice. We good? Thanks.
So my